Today, another day, another video. Now, today I wanted to talk a little bit about how most people actually are super insecure. And more so than you actually think about themselves, most importantly. Most people don't actually care about you, per se, when you go out in public, but they do care about themselves, first and foremost. And so every single imperfection, every single detail, every single thing that they think about, maybe it's their weight, maybe it's their physique, maybe it's their facial structure, maybe it's their bone density, maybe it's their, it doesn't really matter what it is, okay? The point is, people are more insecure about themselves than they are thinking about anything else in their lives. I'll share a little bit of my personal insecurities that I've had over the past 15 or so years, ever since I hit puberty. So at the very start, I used to be overweight, didn't really see myself in a very attractive way, thought I was pretty mid, ugly, overweight, fat, whatever you may call that, okay? So much so that I thought so badly of myself that every single time I would go in public with, like, maybe it's to the beach, maybe it's to the pool, maybe it's doing X, Y, and Z, I would be so insecure about my weight, about my physique, about how I looked to other people. And I thought people were judging me so harshly, but in fact, what was happening in my mind is that I was judging myself way harsher than everybody else. That's what happened. And so I would have these panic attacks from my own mind to stay indoors because I felt insecure about how I looked, my appearance. And so this is what has pushed me so far into self-hatred that I put myself in the gym to fix myself, to be more attractive, to fix my own body, to become more athletic, to become more fit and healthy. And honestly, it has helped me tremendously, but for the most part, where my obsession with health came from was actually from a place of insecurity. It came from a place where I felt like shit and I wasn't really proud of myself. And now that I've actually put in the effort, in the actions, and the time and the energy and everything, I'm way more proud and way more confident about myself. I don't mind walking out there with my shirt off now. I'm okay doing that. And even though I know some people might look better than I do, I don't care anymore. And even if that might do like a little chip in my armor of confidence, I don't really care. Because I'm going out there and I'm already doing good. I'm proud of what I've done. I'm not insecure about my physique anymore. Maybe I might look in the mirror and I might be a little bit annoyed about my fucking my gut. I still have a little bit of fat around the midsection, waist section, but that's pretty much nothing compared to what it was before, right? If I compare what I am today and what I look like today compared to like 5, 6, 7 years earlier, I'm way better today. So that was one of the biggest things that I was most insecure about, was my appearance. I was obsessed with it. And so this is why I'm so obsessed with grooming myself every day. Grooming myself, taking care of the beard, taking care of the hair, getting a haircut, making sure that I put product in my hair so that it stands up properly, so that way everything looks good, neat and tidy. Make sure I groom everything. Make sure I trim all my body hair. I have a lot of hair. I'm a hairy man, all right? So I take care of myself because I care about my appearance, because it's something that I'm insecure about. And that's where it came from in the first place. Now, Second thing, something I was extremely insecure about was dating. Dating women, going out with women, talking to women, all this stuff. Because at the time, 5 years ago, I had no experience whatsoever. So I had no clue what the fuck I was doing. Insecurity comes from either a lack of something or not having enough of something. I guess that's pretty much the same thing. So a lack of confidence, a lack of experience, a lack of something is often the root cause of somebody's insecurity. Maybe it's your skills aren't sharp enough. Maybe it's your capability as a man isn't good enough. Maybe it's a skill that you don't know how to do. Maybe it's your experience and your knowledge about a certain subject that you feel insecure about because you can't really answer any good questions in an interview, or whenever somebody asks you, hey, how do I date this woman, you don't even know where to start. And so for me, both of these subjects were very much linked to each other because of the choices I've made in the past that had led me to, at the time, to a more of a confined, solitary type of lifestyle where I would just sit at home, play video games, and just figure something out, right? Not really care about anything else. So one day, I started getting into dating. And at the very start, I was so insecure that it made me make so many mistakes. I made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. Fuck that one up. Fuck the first one up. Fuck the second one up. Fuck the third one up. And just did that over and over and over again because I understood fundamentally if I wanted to get rid of my insecurities and build something, I needed to go through repeat exposure to that thing. Because when you actually think about it, insecurity is basically like, if I could give you a visual representation, it would be this. Your character, you, who you are right now, you have a spreadsheet, or let's say a foundation, a giant foundation. And on each of these foundations, you have bases of pillars. You have the base foundation of the pillar itself that is sitting on top of the foundation that is you. So the foundation is you, and you've got pillars like this. And the pillars are basically skills or things about who you are that you can improve, that you are either very good at or very shit at, or not very good at. So what ends up happening is the shittier you are at a skill or at something or at anything in terms of knowledge, in terms of experience, in terms of skill, whatever it may be, if you're very shit at it, the pillar, the foundation, is just the base. It's just the very foundation itself. It's nothing, okay? But when you actually take action and you actually have a lot of experience and you actually put yourself together, have confidence, experience, skill, all of this, then you start building on top of the pillar itself. And the pillar stands higher than the base foundation, right? Because you've improved in this skill. You've improved in this field. You've improved in this area. So this pillar is rising based on the amount of the skill equal to the skill that you have at this specific area. In this case, if you are a blank canvas, all of the pillars are at the very base foundational level, right? But if you're very good at something, the one pillar might be like super high. And then let's say an example would be, one pillar would be physical strength, prowess, sports, athleticism, becoming very good in shape, physical shape. You might be very high here, but you might not be very high in the dating one. In the relationships one, maybe it's just the very beginning of the foundation, right? The pillar is not built, is not constructed, is not like the physical one is. So what you need to understand is with this visual representation is that if you want to become more confident, if you want to not be as insecure as you are in a specific area in your life, may it be your physique, going to the gym, more exercise, looking better, looking more athletic, all that sort of stuff, looking more muscular, or may it be dating, relationships, all that sort of stuff, may it be a career orientation, may it be a business that you've just started, may it be a completely different skill, maybe you want to be a lumberjack, a woodcutter, you want to be the most professional woodcutter out there, maybe you want to be the most pristine jeweler, maybe you want to become a very, very high quality craftsman jeweler, maybe you want to become a welder. It doesn't really matter what it is, but the point being, these pillars define your skill gap and your skill level in all areas of who you are as a man, right? A lot of different pillars, we aren't even aware that we have them. They're just like, it's kind of like when you close your eyes and you go inside your own mind and you create like this sort of palace. It's like a mental palace where you can walk around and you can see the different pillars and you can be like, okay, in this skill, I'm at this stage. In this other skill over here, I'm at the bottom stage over here. In this skill over there, I'm up here. And so what ends up happening is you can visualize this and you can get a visual representation of where you are and you can kind of gamify it, right? It's kind of like when you're playing a video game and you've got levels and you've got skill points and you've got all this sort of stuff. That's basically what real life is, but without the interface. You're just figuring it out as you go. There's no interface. So that's basically the biggest thing that I've noticed that actually works for myself to identify where I have those insecurities and how can I improve, and understanding, like for instance for me, roughly I'd say 3-4 years ago, I wasn't very fluent in speaking English. I completely understood people, I had no issues with the language whatsoever, but my speaking fluently ability wasn't as good as it is today. See, because I was out of practice. I hadn't really spoken to that many English speakers in a very long time because I used to speak French way more. So what ended up happening is my pillar was a little bit built, but not so much. And so by the simply practicing and talking to more people and getting more experience, the pillar, I started building it up. And now it's like at a quite interesting higher level compared to before. Now I'll get people that say, hey, are you American? Or are you Canadian? Or are you, you're from Europe? Or whatever the fuck, okay? And it's quite interesting because you would never guess that I was actually born in a French-speaking country. You could never guess if I never told you. You either guess on the first guess, or you don't. Or I have to tell you. So, insecurities, at the end of the day, are a bottom line lack of skill, experience, ability, or confidence in what you are looking into. So, if there is something you feel insecure about, it means you haven't worked enough on it to feel secure about it. Insecurities are actually quite prominent across all of society, both in men and in women. Everybody has them, okay? For instance, another example I could give you, which might shed some light on a couple different things for you, is one of my ex-girlfriends. She was really, really, really insecure about her physique, just like me. So she was so insecure about her physique because she used to be a little bit chubby and a little bit overweight as well. And women, you know how women think about their looks all the time. Like, that's what matters the most to them for the most part. So one of my ex-girlfriends, her problem was she was super, super, super insecure about the size of her breasts. And this is very personal, right? I don't care anymore. She's my ex. And I'll explain why. So she was insecure about the size of her breasts, and she was insecure about her looks, about her hair, her skin color, her literally everything about her, right? And whenever she would see a woman with bigger breasts than she did, she would always tell me, "Oh, look, she's got bigger breasts than me." And I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. You're fine the way you are. Otherwise, I wouldn't be going out with you. And so she got so insecure because insecurity often comes from the inside. It doesn't come from the outside. Insecurity is because you don't feel confident with who you are and what you're capable of doing or capable of keeping or obtaining. And that's what corrupts the rest of your life for you. So what ended up happening? Why is she my ex today? Well, very simply, there was a time where basically we started a relationship, and I guess we dated for a little bit, maybe like a couple months. And then there was a stage where she was changing jobs, and she wanted to sign up to the Army Reserves for something, right? So I was like, okay, well, if you want to do that, it's fine by me. I don't really care. Like, if you want to come back after you're done with the training, which the training was like 3 months. So for 3 months, I couldn't be able, she wasn't able to see me, I wasn't able to see her, and she had very limited phone usage or authorization or whatever. So basically what happened was, for the first month and a half, we went back and forth on text messages. But then she just stopped replying. She just stopped talking because I talked about something that made her feel insecure, which was, we went to the same gym. We met each other at the same gym we go to, right? This is how we met. And so at the same gym, there was this chick who was basically replicating the same pattern she did, in terms of physical attractiveness and showing that to me, right? Because I'm not an average looking dude. Like, I take care of myself, I take care of my physical health, I take care of how I dress, how I groom myself, everything like that, right? So I stand out a little bit out of the crowd, you could say. So that's how she found me at the first place. Like, she was basically just stalking me in the gym every single day, because she'd work there, right? She would, every single time I would go to the gym at the same time, she would show up there and she would start working out as soon as I showed up. And then if there was a pool downstairs, if I would go to the pool after the gym, she would go to the pool after the gym. And I'd be like, okay, obviously you want me to start talking to you and you are showing your interest by always smiling, always being nice, always saying hi, always orbiting around me, right? And so after that, that's when we started dating. But when she left for the Army Reserves or whatever the fuck, training for 3 months, around month and a half, there was another woman that was basically doing the same thing she was doing. Now, she didn't work there. She was just, I guess, working out of the gym. And she was doing the same thing she was doing. And so I picked up on it, and I was like, and I sent her a message, and I said, oh, there's this chick doing this, and it made me think of you. In a kind of like in a kind of funny way, right? Like, my point was like, this chick's doing this, and instead of not telling you, I'm telling you, and I'm saying it makes me think of you because I care about you. And so she took it extremely negatively, and she said, I don't want you to talk about other women whenever it happens. I don't want you to talk about it. I don't want you to tell me anything, blah, blah, blah. And so I said, okay, no worries, like, that's fine. And she said, yeah, because you wouldn't like it if I did that to you. And I would be like, I'd rather you tell me so then I can tell you that I don't want you to be in that environment, right? Like it's mutual communication and understanding and trust, right? And so I was like, okay, no worries. Like, if you don't want me to talk about it, I won't talk about it. As soon as that happened, and I said, all right, no problem, that's fine, she just stopped talking to me. Pretty much cut complete contact. She completely ghosted me. So I was like, hey, like, after 1 week I sent her a message. I was like, hey, how's it going? Da da da. Hope training's going good. Whatever the fuck. Said that, not getting her any responses whatsoever. 2 weeks later, training's almost done. Sent another text. Didn't get a response. So after that, I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna give her the time to respond. Training comes to an end because I know the date. And she told me. Training comes to an end, and I still get no responses. So I'm like, okay, this is a bit strange. So I think about it, and I'm like, okay, I think personally she's lost interest. I'm not really sure what's happened. She hasn't told me anything. It could have been a new relationship for her that just started. Maybe somebody was interested in her at the training, whatever the fuck, okay? And instead of being honest about it, she was like, nah, he's already getting interest from other women, so I'd rather cut him out now so that way he doesn't cheat on me or he doesn't leave me. And because I feel insecure about the value I'm providing him, I don't really want to lose out. I don't want to be the losing end, so I'd rather cut him out now so that way I don't need to do that anymore. And I'm like, well, this is extremely selfish, right? And insecurities are selfish. It's self-imposed, right? This is what I'm talking about. And so I was like, okay, well, blocked, see you later. If she wants to talk to me, she'll come to the gym as soon as her training's done, and she'll face me in person, and she'll be like, hey, I'm really sorry that I didn't respond, da da da. That would have been the normal, rational, human thing to do, but she didn't do that. 5-6 months later, still hasn't done anything. So obviously, I was right. She didn't actually care, and she wanted to cut me out, and she doesn't really want to face any kind of accountability whatsoever. And that's fine. That's her decision. I've already given my half of the answer for that, but that's completely fine. So at the end of the day, insecurities come from a place of you don't feel good enough about your skill, your experience, your capability in a certain realm, in a certain thing that you're providing or that you're getting. And so if you want to be less insecure, what you need to do is you need to understand which level of the pillar you're at, and you need to keep building it, and you need to find out what are the steps to build it higher. So that's pretty much all I have to say for today. If you appreciated this video, if you liked anything that I said today, like, comment, subscribe, and check out the other videos I post on the channel. I post one video every single day on these types of topics. I want to become more respected men and share the lessons along the way. And the message of this channel is to do better. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. As I post every single day, it's a beautiful day, so it's time to get back to work. With that said, I will see you in the next one. See ya.